Today I have in front of me every single mug that Fellow Products has released, and we're going to be talking about each and every one of them. So first off, in the Carter Move mug collection, we have 4 different sizes with 5 different options of lids. We have the 8 ounce, the 12 ounce, which is the blue, black, and white. We have the Carter Cold, which comes with a straw that is in the 16 ounce one. And then we have a 20 ounce one at the very end. The very first one is the Carter Move Wide in 12 ounce. The only one that I'm missing here is the 16 ounce of the Carter Wide. With the lids, we have the standard ones that come on the Carter Wide and the standard ones that come on any size that you want. Then you also have the slide lock lid, which you'll see in black, the 360 lid, which you'll see in white, the cold in lavender, and the carry in mint. Those are all the mugs. We're going to be talking about each and every one of them. Starting off with, I want to go over the very original one that kind of got Fellow started. So for those of you who don't know, Fellow makes a lot of coffee equipment that a lot of specialty coffee enthusiasts love to use. They started with a lot of like a French press looking thing and a cold brew looking thing. And since then, they've kind of progressed from there. They've made some of the best precision kettles that are used in competitions everywhere called the Fellow Stag. And they have since made a pour over grinder called the Fellow Ode, an espresso entry level grinder called the Opus, a bunch of different pour overs, a bunch of different cups, and they also released a scale for $185 called the Fellow Tally. All of these look aesthetically pleasing on your countertop and has been a fan favorite of a lot of coffee lovers since they've released a few years back. The original mug that they had was this one here. This is the Fellow original one, now called the Fellow Carter Wide mug. And one of the things that is different about mine than the other ones is this bag. This bag is super nice because I like the fact that you could hold it with your pinky while you're walking around and simply slide off this top portion of the bag and still unscrew the lid. So we're going to be talking about what made this mug originally interesting for people. Is it's wide, it's the size of kind of like a diner cup, and it has a thin lip on the outside of it to make it pleasing to drink from. It has a ceramic coating inside on it so you don't get the taste of stainless steel. It seems like you're sipping from a regular mug. And it also has this wide mouth in order for you to experience the aroma because your nose sits really close to the inside of it, allowing you to smell your coffee while you drink it. One of the issues that a lot of people had with this mug, and again, this is a 12 ounce, they make a 16 ounce of it as well, but one of the huge issues that they've had with this mug is the fact that it does not fit in car cup holders, which was a huge problem for a lot of people. So Fellow moved on, and then they released these mugs right here, which are the Fellow Move mugs. They're slimmer profile, allowing you to fit in a car cup holder, and they added one new detail to the inside of it. So if you screw off the lid, you will see this little piece right here. This little piece allows you to be able to walk and sip from it without it splashing for you. So I look at the wide one as a mug to be used in the office when you're going to and from work. You're not drinking coffee on the way, but you want nice hot coffee in your office because you don't like your office coffee or whatever it may be, or you're going to a friend's house and you want a leak-proof mug that you can bring with you and enjoy your coffee when you're sitting peacefully wherever you're at. This mug, however, the Move mug, claims to fit in car cup holders, and for the majority of them it does. However, in my car it does not. So if you have small cup holders in your car, this one probably won't do it for you. This is the 8 ounce one, and this is the 12 ounce one, and these are the Carter Move mugs. From there, they released the newer one, which is the Fellow Carter 360 mug, and they have a new lid to it. So the nice thing about these is all of these lids are completely interchangeable, so you can take your standard mug and you can move it to any of the other ones that you have. Every single lid is compatible except for the ones that come with the Carter Wide. So if you're getting a Carter Move mug, you will be fine with no matter what you get in sense of lid. And this lid is interesting because they solved the problem that they thought they had, which would be, this is all speculation, of course, this is my assumption of a buyer, not what Fellow said publicly. They had the problem where people wanted to drink without removing the lid, so they made this 360 lid, and it has the ability to drink 360 from any of the holes here, any way you're holding the mug, and it has this little splash guard on top to prevent it splashing everywhere. There was another issue, is then now they made this mug that you can drink from without taking the lid off, but now it splashes. So here comes the Carter slide lock lid, where you simply push down on this and it slides back and you can drink from it, slide it forward, and then it claims to be leak proof. Going on from there, they've released a lot of mugs over the time. Carter Cold. So if you're an iced coffee drinker, you want something with a straw, they've solved the issue here. Again, same interior can be used on every single mug. Does not come with a little centerpiece on the inside, but it does come with this nice straw. The straw has a stopper here, so you simply insert it from the inside of the lid, make it the perfect length that you need it for in your cup, and leave it there, which means it's not as compatible with the other mugs. I lost a little silicone piece on that, but you can simply pull it out and you can flip it around upside down to make it be used for the 12-ounce mugs. If you have a 16-ounce one, the top of the straw would be a little bit longer, but it will work for any mug as well. So we're going to put that back in. And then most recently, from a few months ago, Fellow released this mug right here. And this is the Fellow Carter Carry mug. A lot of mugs in a short amount of time. This is the exact same as the original Fellow Carter mug, but it has a Carter Move mug, and it has a metal handle here on the top, and that's as simple as it is right here. Slide it on, and you're good to go. Like I said, we have a lot of different sizes here: the 8, the 12, the 16, and the 24. So we have the 8 here, 12, 16, and 24. That's what they look like. Again, all of these lids are completely interchangeable on all of them. The straw lid will work best on the 16-ounce one just because of the way that the straw was designed. Could you use it for any of the other ones? Yes, but it would look really silly in the 8-ounce one, and it would be kind of a lot harder to use on the 24-ounce one as well, but it can be done. Well, actually, what I want to do right now is I want to start with which size I prefer and why. When it comes to the just overall look of the size, I prefer the size-wise of the 12-ounce one here, and the reason for that is it just looks very pleasing when it comes to the size of the mug to carry around with you. However, when it comes to practicality, I would choose the 16-ounce one because when it comes to iced beverages or any iced coffees, I prefer 16 ounces because what I do is I use the same ratios of everything that I would use to make a 12-ounce coffee or 12-ounce latte, except I would put about 4 ounces of ice in there, which would fill up the space to make the 16-ounce covered. I find that I never really use 20 ounces. That's a little too big for me. I got it for the sake of this video. I find that the 8-ounce one, while in theory it's really cool and I have used it occasionally, isn't really something that I use a ton. And the 12-ounce one I could get by with for iced coffee, but I think I'd prefer the 16-ounce one, which would lead me to overall just going ahead and picking up the 16-ounce one and calling it good that way. Now here we move on to the more challenging part to decide is which lid do you want and why do you want that lid. So we have 4 lids again here to choose from. 5 lids, my apologies on that. We have the standard Carter Move, the 360, the slide lock, the cold, and then finally we have the Carter Carry. When it comes to the overall look of the mug, my favorite look experience of it is with the simple classic Carter original one. A lot of people in my experience have thought this was a Bluetooth speaker, but it is what it is. It's just sleek. It's nice looking. I can trust it fully being leak proof when I throw it into a bag, even though some of the other ones claim to be leak proof. So this is probably my favorite look of it. When it comes to the slide lock lid right here, we have that ability to simply push it open, but the problem is I find it very difficult to do one-handed. You kind of have to push it up against your body to get that support. I don't fully trust it being leak proof, but when you are driving or when you want to sip coffee from it, it's leak proof enough that I'll throw it on the outside of my backpack, but not on the inside. The inside I would do with the Carter Move standard lid. It's a good lid for traveling, things like that. The Fellow Carter Carry lid, I think it's a nice lid. I don't like the looks of it as much as the original one, but it does give you that extra support to carry it, which can be nice in an instance where you need to carry your mug with one finger. Again, I find that it isn't as pleasing to use as the original bag that I had, but it is still able to just simply lock onto your finger once I get the lid on, and carry that way, and you should be good to go that way. The Fellow 360 mug lid is, in my opinion, a complete fail when it comes to Fellow. And I say that for a number of reasons. Why? I find it a little too splashy, in my opinion, for a 360 sip lid. I've seen so many other companies, from a company called Mir and a company called Brew Cups, who have a pressing mechanism on it to make it leak proof as well, and I feel like they should have went with that instead. And I also find that it is very uncomfortable to drink from because the very top of it hits your nose and it just feels unpleasant to use. I really have not used this lid outside of testing purposes for you guys because it is that inconvenient to me. I love the cold lid. I think they did a great job of it. I find myself using this quite a bit for iced coffees because it's just simply pleasant, and they did a great job with it. Okay, so that leads me to, what would I buy and why? Well, there's one clear answer to me, and that is, if I were buying from scratch, what I would probably choose to do is I would choose to buy the bundle that they have. And yes, I said that correctly. I believe for around $50, you can buy the bundle, which includes 3 lids. And those 3 lids are the Carter Cold, the Carter Slide Lock lid, and the Carter Standard lid. So you can buy any of these lids individually if you want 2 of them or 3 of them. You can buy each mug with any lid that you would prefer straight from the beginning. So if you prefer the straw in the cold one, go ahead and go for that one. If you prefer the slide lock, you can do that. But when it comes to getting everything that you want, you can have just one mug in your cupboard that you clean on a regular basis, and you can have all 3 lids for any situation that you're in. You want fully leak proof and trust it, you got it with this lid. You want the ability to drink from it on the go a little bit easier, you have the slide lock lid. And finally, if you're big into iced coffee and it's getting towards summertime, you have the cold lid. With that being said, that's what I would go with. However, I don't think this is the best mug for all circumstances of coffee. The reason why I say that is because they are currently using this slide lock lid, and I don't really like it too much because you have to use 2 hands to do it. There are so many other companies that have a simple button pressing mechanism that allows you to open it up one-handed and drink your coffee from, and I wish that was there. And on top of that, I also trust that being leak proof, where this one, for some reason, I just can't fully have the confidence in it being leak proof. That could be on me and not the mug itself. It also is a pain in the butt to clean a little bit. I'm kind of talking bad on the slide lock lid, even though that's probably one of my go-to ones to use out of it because it is the nicest, but it's just, there's so many crevices on the inside that it's so hard to get fully clean, and things can grow in coffee, especially when you're using milk, and it's just kind of gross. The cold one, big fan of, but honestly, when I really think hard about the way that I use a mug, it is simply the second one that they made, following the original design, where it's leak proof. You unscrew the lid, it has a little splash guard for when you're walking. You can throw it anywhere. This is the go-to mug that I use at a Fellow. It's changed sometimes. I recommended the slide lock lid more over it. The carry handle is also probably the second option for me because while I don't like the looks of it the best, it is a good alternative if you want to be able to carry your mug one-handed easily. If the handle is beneficial to you, obviously that makes more sense to you, and that's kind of an opinionated thing on whether or not you want to use that. Those 2 seem the most practical for me. Then it's probably the straw lid. It's not super practical, but it's fun. You can obviously drink iced coffee like this, but there's something about drinking through straw that's nice and pleasant. I hope they're not done. That's kind of what I want you to get from this video. If you've made it this far, also, if you could please like and subscribe, that really helps me produce more content. If you're looking at purchasing any of this stuff, please use the affiliate links below. I'll make a small commission at no extra charge to you. I have a huge giveaway coming up. I want you to be a part of it. I'm going to be giving away a Fellow Carter mug, as well as an entry-level espresso machine, and hopefully a coffee grinder as well. Be subscribed. Stay tuned for that. Overall, Fellow does make great mugs, but they're not perfect, and I have a huge video comparing every single mug that I own coming up soon. Don't miss out on it. Get yourself a Fellow mug in the meantime, and enjoy your coffee, and thank you so much for watching.